totally realistic here, I think it was quite far below the other teams here in the main stage.
Yeah, although I'd say the boot camp they had in the Philippines really did help, which leads me to another point, I guess, because the way Andoryu's playing in Virtus Pro now looks very comfortable, and some might even argue feels like a different or better version than when he was in Omega. So let's see how it pans for this one.
I mean, Brigitte, if I know our fans, they all like to argue. So now we're going into the pick and bans here. SRGOG will be first pick, Virtus Pro will be the second one. Interesting here, banning out the Fovea. So it does show that maybe they just want a team fight comp that just goes all over the place.
Yeah, this actually... it is a great setup for a lot of different picks here. The 1-1 obviously comes up to mind. I think another one would be an Arlet that we've been seeing a whole lot of plays from. Man, Sanford in match 1 on the TLPH versus Ultra Legends match. But they actually ban out the 1-1. So this leads me to believe that it's more of an Arlet setup.
Yeah, or maybe even like, I'm liking how we're starting to see the Farce again for the past 2 series, which is still available if ever they do want to opt for that. But like, last MSC, I think when we talk about Stormy, I think the picks that come to mind are more of the like Valentinas and all that. But we'll see, because I don't think we saw that just yet for today.
Might bring in a Nana. All right.
We did see that in the grand finals.
It's a Stormy special. All right, because here's the thing.
How'd that work, by the way?
Okay, knowing Stormy, he's my boy, right? He's my boy.
One of 2 boys.
I can have plenty, right? But here's the thing, like, he's practice time for all the heroes. He doesn't need all that much time, so it does expand his hero pool. And it just asks like, hey, what you want? Now, SRGOG, let's talk about this, because I feel like the bans does show the draft. Betting out the Foveas, meaning you want a lot of dashes. Betting out the 1-1, maybe you just have a very heavy front line that you don't want to get punished. But betting out the Arlet, because we thought that was the setup. And I'm looking at VP. I kind of feel like VP is just meta banning, you know, betting out. I kind of feel like Fanny doesn't have to be banned, but, you know, that's either here or there. And betting out the Uranus. What is the setup? What is going to be the first pick? Is it going to be the Farsight? Is it going to be the Kimi? What's going on here?
I mean, the Baxter's still there too, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good shout. I think right now for SRG, the plan is to take away as many early game Turtle 1 fighting heroes away from VP, knowing that VP are really good for fighting the first few neutral objectives. So take that away, SRG will have a smoother road to scaling to their own win conditions.
A lot of picks are open here.
Yeah, Baksha, Farsa. Kimi is also, I think, a pick that should be contested up against VP, who, again, from Pluto, we've only been seeing Kimi in the entirety of the wildcard.
Yeah, even the Jushin, which was previously banned too, I think, might be considered later on for both of these teams. But they, never mind, immediately take it instead for first pick.
Hey, SRG, OG, they're living in their own world, for better or for worse. So now they're picking up the Jushin, which, if we're looking at the draft here, again, they're batting out heroes that can more or less counter the front line. So I'm thinking, I feel like everyone expected Skies to go back to previous MSC, the Lings, the Lancelots, maybe even the Alpha. But so now it's like, what? Is he going to be playing a tank? Is he going to be, you know, Frederick and Akai, that kind of thing? But I don't know about the Akai, especially because they themselves banned the art. I feel like that's the biggest question mark to think, like, what are they aiming for?
Yeah, that would be the good combo.
What wasn't like Sekai's at least just using the Fredrin in terms of utility heroes? Like recently, it was mostly just the Fredrins or the Suyos.
I mean, like, it's good. It's good. Like, I'm saying his Fredrin is good, but, you know, people are like, oh, you know, your heroes
it's not Skies. Yeah,
it's not Skies. You know?
Okay, so it's got the Kacha and Lancelot. I actually didn't expect that. I thought with the Jusin picked up, they would go for a Baksha, they would go for maybe like a Kimi here. But I guess they're thinking, all right, Jusin was already picked up. There's no real reason for us to pick up the Kimi early, knowing that the mid lanes are already there. And actually sets up for double carries in the first phase. It's a CC and Joy pickup for SRG.
Whoa.
This is very interesting. I haven't seen SRG draft like this in this patch, but this looks like they're drafting the previous patch. No, because this is exactly their opener back in MPL, which is like what?
Looks like an M6 draft too.
A month ago, at least.
And even if you pick like the Farce here, wouldn't you be a little like uncomfortable considering that there's already a Joy in the lineup of SRG, or regardless?
I mean, Kimi.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah, Kimi would be a safe choice, and they go for the safe choice there, VP. Again, Pluto, he's only really picked up Kimi for the most part. If it's not banned out, he will always go for it. Now we're going into the second phase where VP have a good shot at banning out the gold lanes. Now, they have first pick on red, so they can actually contest for the gold lane that's open to leave SRG with less heroes.
Yeah, but the thing is, knowing Innocent, he probably legit doesn't care. He legit doesn't care.
He's innocent.
Because this is a real thing that happened before, where they were discussing and they could not decide which goal laner to pick, and he's like, you know what, Clint. It's like I'm just gonna pick Clint and then I'll make it work, and he made it work.
Yeah.
So I think this is one of the advantages for SRGOG. They can delay the GOAT laner just because they have that trust in Innocent.
Yeah, now they seem to acknowledge that and not ban any gold laners anymore. Though, I'm wondering if this Gato...
There's a lot of frontline punish here.
Yeah.
What is their plan here? Because CC and Joy doesn't really scream, you know, oh, we're so scared of our frontline. What hero is Yum's going to be using?
Yeah, I think, again, for SRG, it's just them trying to play with their strengths, right? They are very, very good in the mid to late. They struggle sometimes in the early game, and that's why they're taking away as many setters, as many heroes that can force fights early on to get that lead, to get the snowballing going for VP.
I think... I mean, the Kalea is still open, though VP seems to be...
Oh, well,
That's
there
a
you
good
go,
pick.
man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, good shot, Brigida.
I thought VP would be the ones to actually threaten that pick. They actually ban it out themselves, so...
I hope they don't pick the Boxia, because this is already not a great draft for Boxia, for VP, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, the CC's
A lot of
there.
shred.
Yeah. But then SRG can pick it up if they want it.
So I'm wondering what does like... Do they think or do they plan to put the Gatot? It's likely gonna be Roam, right? Like I don't see
think
any
so, yeah.
Gatot XP lanes anymore. But the mere fact that there's already a CC, and I feel like the entire game-in situation was a testament to how CC is kind of like up there in terms of the XP lane matchup. So it's gonna be tricky already for VP to think of that.
Yeah.
So, like, how do they deal with the frontline pressure that SRG currently has? Who's gonna protect the Kimi aside from the Gatot Kacha?
Well, usually when you're up against this kind of composition, you want a little bit more peel. You want CC. How you counter the CC? It's with CC, but not the hero. The crowd control. CC countered by crowd control. So VP, I think they could take a page out of CFU's book, pick up something like an Edith that will be pretty solid to just lock her down in lane and in the team fights, or
go MWI and pick up Belleric. Hey, that
was one of the counters to Joy in M6 too. Yes, SRG did a good job, by the way. The down ban, amazing. The Harrow ban, even better. Taking away an amazing pick that could have been a counter towards the Joy, but it's going to be the Moskov that gets chosen by VP. So a bit more side control.
They're
or
saving XP.
don't let Innocent have that, because that too.
I remember that he made a small play where he got almost, I think, a comeback at.
Yeah,
That was like the play that actually got them to Axiata. So
At least now they have ways to like really deal with the macro. Although SRG2, they already have the Joy, so like I mean in terms of side control, they pretty much have an answer to that. But the Moskov and the Lancelot, that's a lot of presence.
Oh,
okay. Now, here's the thing. Claude, question mark, yes. But also, I want to look at all these bans. Are all of these bans to protect this Hilda? Because I kind of feel like the only one that might get punished is Hilda / Claude a bit. This is very interesting coming in from SRG OG, but as a Malaysian, I trust it because they spent a lot of manpower on studying the meta. So, hey, maybe they know something we don't.
Yeah, it really looks like a mid-game composition for SRG. They're really banking on their strengths here, but so are VP. We're seeing a little bit of a change for VP's playstyle. I think mainly forced out by SRG. There you go. That's the Edith pickup in the XP lane to deal with the CC with crowd control.
Yep, and here's the thing. Looking at the draft here, I kind of feel like for VP, they got the meta pick here. SRG OG, they might have seen this coming, and they just want to counter it. So either ways, good luck to the both of you casting this game. I hope it's a good opener for us.
I hope so too, LaFell. Thank you for that. And now we are going to get ready, ladies and gentlemen, to jump into the land of Dawn. Will it be the unorthodox draft of the defending MSC x EWC champions, or will it be the newcomers in VP with a meta draft, something that works, something that's solid, very orthodox, and actually does suit their playstyle in the wildcard?
I like to see how they're proving just how flexible they are indeed. In as early as game number 1, who would have thought they'd be switching up their drafting patterns that early on? But we'll see indeed. It's a unique approach to see the meta coming in from the wildcard champions rather than the defending champions.
Well, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 1 into the land of Dawn as Natan brings us in Skies and Andoryu. Going to be pathing towards the same route over. They'll be meeting up, and let's talk a little bit about this matchup, right? Lancelot versus the Joy. I think in recent times, well, oh, hold up, big fight mid lane.
In as early as less than a minute, it seems like Stormy has been brought down to less than half HP, and I'm seeing the confidence in the interview, even just now in the mid lane from Pluto.
Bober, really well played on the Kimmy. It just shows you the experience that he's had in the wild card, just picking up this hero so many times. And Doryu was actually gone for the orange buff straight into the Lethal Wanderer, knowing that SRG's jungler Skies will probably go for the triangle route.
Yep. And I'm liking how they're controlling the mid lane so far, since we know for a fact that a Hilda does tend to be the one putting the pressure, being the one trying to invade a bit. But okay, so we saw this coming, but not to a point where it could potentially be an early solo kill. But hold on, in the mid lane, it seems like there's action happening once more. Thorn Rose committed by Andoryu, but Sekai's secures first blood onto Pluto and will not get punished for it.
Great moves from Skies. A glimpse of the MSC performance he's had last time. Vengeance!
Okay, gets the flicker out of the turret, but will that keep him safe? Because Cram will try to go for the kill, but instead, no, it's Yumes trying to help him there. A little bit of help, but somehow still a solo kill.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it can still count mid lane. This is definitely not a solo.
Oh my goodness, the pressure in the mid lane coming in from Virtus Pro, and the way they're able to answer back against SRG. This is a surprising turn of events, but Andoryu Phantom Execution out. Pluto might be taken out though, not yet level 4, and the control in the turtle pit seems to fall into SRG's hands.
This is big. SRG have brawled it out and actually have gotten a better timing in towards the turtle. Bad call level 4 though, that's Pluto!
Oh, so it seems like they don't want to recall. They're just trying to regroup, but that will mean that SRG OG secures the first hurdle of the game.
Now we get to see the setup that was done in the draft. You know, banning out a lot of the ready-to-fight heroes for Turtle 1 to take away that strength away from VP. Now we get to check onto the emblems here. Master Assassin for the Claude. It's the firmness for the Moskov. Super Agorka has taken much more of a passive route. Hell, I think the entire team has 3 tenacities from Virtus Pro. They're really respecting the firepower from SRG.
So could they be really planning to focus on the macro for this game, not until they know that they've already hit their power spikes? But the way we're seeing it right now, at least in the trio mid, they're just really taking on the fights. They're somehow starting to brawl, but speaking of brawl, it seems like Stormy will start it instead. They will try to go for it, and they take down Pluto. Andoryu gets to escape, but now will he try to re-engage? Because the rest of his teammates, they seem to be in danger. That's 2 members down for Virtus Pro.
Great fight from SRG, utilizing that Stormy utility here early on. Getting those knockups, massive for SRG, and you can just see the coordination here for SRG, right? The fact that they were all ready to pounce as the knockup came through with the Lantern Flare shows you that at least here, they've got the advantage in that department. Virtus Pro were all over the place.
Yeah.
Bober was kiting away, wanted to go for the member they used Traction Pulse on. Now Cram.
What? AOG right in front of Cram just to somehow block his path. But they will successfully take him down though, but they needed 3 in order to do that. And I agree with you, it seems like Virtus Pro, their mechanical capabilities, they've proven that, but their coordination might need a little more work, especially in the way we've seen them play. But Stormy forced to flicker away, and now the SOD, okay, they will not proceed with the fight.
Yeah. Scoreboard 4-3, really close, but SRG have gotten more value out of their kills over Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro, like you said, Brigitte, they've been sending 2 members into the bottom lane to go for these kills, and SRG have bought so much time with those guys before dying that they could get more value out of the map. Purple buff was stolen. This puts Skies in a good position, despite Andoryu still being at the same level, actually a bit ahead in XP, fighting for Turtle 3.
He's actually 3-0. It's a really good standing, but again, even despite him being a Lancelot, if SRG OG are able to just dominate and control the objectives that way, it's gonna be a little difficult for them to contest. And now they can immediately transition to the top lane, although Andoryu might try his best to defend. They might not let go of this tier 1 just yet, and that's another thing I feel. There's no turrets taken down from either of these 2 teams so far.
Yeah, very disciplined from both these teams, at least when it comes to protecting their structures, lane swapping the lanes as well. Super Agorka sent down below for the turtle fight earlier. They didn't want to contest. And at least when it comes to the macro, it's great for Virtus Pro, right? They have been on the back foot for the most part of the trades, but they know what to do. Here, bad caught.
Oh, bad caught. There's the AOG as well, but will not knock up any single member. Spober tries to go for Sekai, but on the other side of the map, Yumes is the one taken down. SOD will be landing onto Stormy, and Innocent might just be the turnaround of Virtus Pro. Innocent gets to take down one, but still, that's 3 members traded out by VP.
That might be the first win Virtus Pro has found in this game in a pure team fight. Adore you!
Oh, the Phantom Execution, if that connected, I wonder how things would have changed. But just as we spoke about turrets, Virtus Pro get the first one away from SRG OG.
It was so close in the early game despite SRG's control over the neutral objective. 1,000 gold was all they had in the lead. And you could see with the team fight, despite it being also very messy from VP, you could see the targeting being all over the place. They managed to find the solution, and it was a big spear to land from Super Agorka. From down below, absolutely ridiculous accuracy from the young man from EECA. And now we've got a game. Both teams scale up pretty well. And both teams are playing for mid-game here, Brig.
That was a Firmness Moskov.
Firmness Moskov dealing damage. AOG!
AOG right in front of Crab. Oh, the flicker coming in as well from Badcod, immediately eliminating a single member from SRG before the turtle. Could this be a little different this time? Because VP, they're able to take a pick-off against SRG.
Wow. I'm really impressed by VP. The miscoordinations we saw early on, it seems like one fight and they're back together. This is their wildcard form in the final. Super Agorka picking up turrets for free as they set up for the final turtle of the game, Pluto.
Oh, will Andoryu let go of this opportunity? Sekai still secures the objective, but Andoryu is unstoppable. Might just go for the kills. Sekai fortunately gets away, but still, VP, they're not letting up without a fight.
Trades have been so equal this time around. VP get a little bit more of value. 2-1, a turret, but SRG did get the turtle. So it's a +1 value for VP here. Super Agorka, though, is farming up to be a beast. Let's take a look at the items. Perfect timing. In-game equipment, it's not just the man in the gold lane, but it's the man, an import from the Philippines who's done amazing this game. Look at that lead. 1,000. Again, you have to remember, his purple buff got stolen. This hasn't been the best games when it comes to farming. Doryu!
He's almost legendary. 6-0! Primal Wrath! Oh, not Primal Wrath. Not just yet. It was the Phantom Execution. But somehow, Innocent still gets away, but not Kram! Oh my goodness.
Someone has to charge VP for fraud.
That was such
in the wild card, this was not how they performed. They were messy. Yes, they were good, but now Doryu's going 1v1.
Are they actually gonna? Okay.
Back to the point. They're not playing the way we expected them to. This is clean gaming for VP. Maybe the first few minutes, yes, that was the VP we expected. You know, miscomms happening, miscoordinations, little small wins from SRG individually here and there. But it seems after the laning phase, this team has turned around so quickly. These fights have been so good, the rotations as well. And it's SRG who find themselves on the back foot, mainly Crap being very vulnerable with the CC on Vengeance, getting countered by the crowd control we spoke of in the draft. Pluto.
Yeah, and he got such a good start too, but hold on, speaking of, it's Innocent who gets taken down this time, not the best one for SRG OG. Sekai gets to trade, however, but Andoryu still going for it. 2-for-2 trade for both of these teams.
But it's worth it for VP. They got both the carries, Skies and Innocent leaving the utility. Stormy in the mid lane. SRG still have the better control over the neutral objective here, so they will deny VP of a take on Lord, and it will prolong the game to a point where I think SRG can still pull things back. Yeah. It really comes down to a battle of team fights at this point, but VP have a Moskov. That's where the but comes in.
Yeah.
If Super Agorka plays this well, this could be a split push angle that forces SRG into a crucial forced error.
Yeah, and if SRG OG in the fights actually get the shutdown onto Andoryu, I feel like that'll matter a lot, but will they actually get to do that? Innocent tried to, but he will not succeed. That's a kill from Super Agorka. AOG committed by Pluto, but he's all alone in the middle of four. But Super Agorka, he makes it to the fight. Bomber has third position, however, because Crab, with a beautiful use of the Vengeance, gets a double kill. And Andoryu, he's legendary, but they lose 3 members. Badcott, is he still going for it?
The one time you don't go for the CC on CC, you lose it out. Now Phantom Execution as Cram gets the kill back. Badcon taking down Endoryu, looking for scraps, has to land the puncture, goes over the Thorn Rose. Cram survives!
Somehow he still survives and Sekai's might get the shutdown, but still doesn't! How is Endoryu still alive after all of this?
How is SRG doing it as well? We've got so many questions that we need to answer, that these two teams need to answer. And Doryu surviving, SRG winning despite not having Innocent in that fight. They want to fight again. Pluto knocked up.
He's starting to hurt. Innocent is starting to hurt. Pluto won't be able to land the AOG, but Endoryu fights Sekai's! But he might be taken out here by Innocent, and now it's Super and Gorka doing work, trying to look for the trades now that their jungler is down, but it might just be the disengage, it's just the call, because Yums and Cram hunt him down!
3 deaths, but he's still clutched. That Innocent, man, is ridiculous. Bober with the flicker out. Yums looking for the chase now, trying to cut him down, but Badcot's all alone, and it's a dive into him. One last Earth Shatter as Innocent picks up a killing spree and finally sets SRG's win condition in place.
Those were like consecutive redemption moments for Cram because the sudden jump on his KDA, just look at that. If he was struggling to position himself earlier, he got the shutdown on 2 crucial heroes of VP, and then after that just kept putting in the pressure, which led them to getting this objective even.
Let's take a look at the fight again, a replay of it. Super Agorka zoned away. Now we see the brilliance of the Hilda pick. Maybe a lot of people, me included, don't like the Hilda pick, right? Because, especially in Rome. But he's done his job. Yums was able to bait out so many of the resources from Super Agorka, tank so many shots from him that the rest of SRG can come down and beat him up. Cram, the most vulnerable member on the team to crowd control, is still the big prio. There's a fight going on in live cam view. AOG to defend. Let's take a look at it.
Oh! Super Agorka finding Sekai's. Will VP actually go for this fight knowing that their jungler is down, but they focus on taking down the Lord for now. That at least exposed all their inhibitor turrets, however, and somehow an advantage for SRG.
What? Did Super Agorka get a solo kill? This guy's walk up too aggressively because he did land the SOD, yes, but when he did, Skies was already super low.
So there was probably a fight before that, but speaking of the fight, look at this current call latched onto Pluto and Super Agorka. Beautiful targets for Cram, but gets knocked up right there by the Earth Shatter. Badcon, though, doesn't have the Primal Wrath, so they won't be able to find a way to fight back, not unless Endoryu looks for the trades, but the Thorn Rose doesn't seem to land on the Stormy.
A desperate play from Endoryu, and SRG will capitalize on this. The experience of the defending MSC champions coming in the mid-game. 13 minutes in, and they're going to be knocking at the base turret. First one going down, SOD landing for Super Agorka. Skies!
Could this actually be it? VP will try to defend, uses the AOG as well, but Super Agorka unfortunately gets taken down. There's the traction pulse from Bober, and they still have some minion waves coming in, but they have to wait for the next wave.
5 seconds on Endoryu. Wave is coming in, but it's a bit too slow. VP actually have a shot of defending. SRG need to get this wave into the base. Here we go.
Did they actually go for the conceal? Badcup doesn't land their shatter, and Bober is the first to fall. And Doryu 2 won't more, or he will make it out alive and successfully clears the wave still.
Oh, Skies just died. What? Where? Did he get shot by the turret? Did he walk up too far, or was the minions the one that dealt the final blow?
There's a Lord. There's a Lord.
This is a big mistake from SRG. Yes, they've gotten value. It's still value. Base turrets taken down mid and bot. But VP have more members for the Lord. 20 seconds for Skies. Cram is walking up still very aggressively. Okay. It's not a big mistake. The SRG have recovered very, very well, just poking and holding their ground up against a VP team that also was waiting for 2 members to get back up in Badcon and Bober.
Okay, so at least it isn't necessarily an immediate transition into the Lord for VP, even though Sekai's was taken down earlier, and it seems like they'll need a bit more resources if they want to deal with Cram, unlike how it was for the first few minutes. Things have changed a bit, especially as Innocent has already taken his items. He's already full build on this Claude. But speaking of full build, oh no! Pluto doesn't go for the engage and instead gets taken down. So Pluto and Badcott, the true frontliners, they're nowhere to be seen for VP.
There's no front line up against this SRG composition in the late game, man. Yum's walking up, canceling the recall, and it will be a 2v1. Super Agorka throws it out, almost catches Stormy. 2v1.
Uses the wind of nature, but against 2, will he be still
3.
able to find a way out? Make it 3 indeed, and Sikai's doesn't care. Taking down one of the best ways to defend for VP.
30 seconds on the death timers. SRG are looking to go for just one wave in the mid lane. They think it's going to be enough. They've shoved up top. No, wait. Yeah, they're just going to go for the mid lane, straight into it. Crown with the curtain call over to Badcon.
Okay, the curtain call was already used, but it seems like they're not going to care. And Doryu doesn't land any of his skills, and instead, SRG OG gain access to the base. It's a killing spree for Sikai's, and after 16 minutes, they finally